It's Thursday, April 4th, and you're listening to the Geek at Geek News Central, the longest continuous run tech podcast. This is show number 848, sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com. Our April GoDaddy specials: get 35% off your total order on new products using promo code GO35OFF2. Geek News Central is also sponsored in part by DYN. That's Dine.com. Save 30%. Use promo code podcast30. Hey, folks, got a great show lined up for you. Kind of an interesting development here in the Cochran household this afternoon. We'll talk about that here in just a second. You know what comes next. Strap in. Here it comes.
All right, people, I need a go, no-go for the Geek News Central podcast. Digital archive recorders.
We're go fly.
Microphone.
We're go fly.
Video feed.
Go.
Web browser.
Go.
RSS data stream aggregator.
Go fly.
Interflux Toddism suppressor.
All right, I'm confused.
Host readiness check.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
The Geek News Central podcast is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go. Cue Todd in
5,
Button, who's got the button?
4,
There's no cause for alarm.
3,
Everybody hold on to something.
2,
Just press the button.
1.
Aloha and welcome to Geek News Central, coming to as live as it can be from the beautiful state of Hawaii via the Geek News Central studio overlooking Greater Honolulu. Hey, everyone, welcome to the show. Of course, my name is Todd Cochran, and it's a little late start here tonight, but well worth the late start with the news I'm going to share with you here in just a few seconds. I tell you, I've had a great day. It's been fantastic here. Final prep, getting ready for NAB. So talk about that a little bit more as well. But I want to give a warm welcome to the Ahana, longtime listeners of the show from around the world. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the family. We want to make sure you get over to geeknewscentral.com, check out the website, get subscribed to the show, sign up for the newsletter. That way you'll always be in contact with us. You'll never miss a single episode that way. That's the best way to do it. Those of you that are new to the show, hey, we want to welcome you here. And, of course, welcome to the Ahana. Welcome to the family of listeners. And it's I tell you, I'm glad to have you on board, and definitely share the show with your friends, family members, people you know. And as always, if you want to reach out to me, you can do so very easily via Twitter at Geek News. Email address is available for you to send comments to the show at geeknews@gmail.com. And our hotline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 619-342-7365. Well, I tell you, this afternoon, I'm scrambling around here, and my wife walks into the studio, and she says to me, is that offer to go to Vegas with you still on the table? And I'm like, yeah, it is. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, is there going to be a seat on the same flight available? And she says, well, I'm going to call my girlfriend and see if she can watch the kids over the weekend. And why don't you start looking to see if you can get me on the flight? So I boom right over to United, and I've got like 780,000 frequent flyer miles. So put in a Saver Award. I'll put in the code for award travel, and man, got lucky. Actually got her decent seats. So my lovely wife and I are going to Vegas together. She's going to come back on Monday, but so often the kids are getting to the point where they're a little older, almost the point where we could trust them to stay home over a weekend, but not quite. So, but her friend was able to step up and come on board, and so it's going to be fantastic. She's going to be able to go with me. We're going to have a little downtime, a little husband-wife time in Vegas. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. This is the first time her and I probably gotten away from the kids for more than 24 hours in a number of years. So I'm really excited about it. Even though it's going to be short, we're going to probably do as much as we can, take in a couple of shows, do a little gambling, and then Sunday afternoon, I'll kind of switch back into a business role, getting ready for NAB, and probably hang out that night. I don't have to really, it's no pressure for me on the schedule. I just have to be at the NAB broadcast booth Monday with our guest in tow, which we have got lined up at 1:45 is when we're going to start broadcasting Pacific Standard Time on Monday. But I put her on an airplane that morning to get her back to Honolulu to be able to pick the kids up from school Monday afternoon. So it's really I'm jazzed. I'm really I'm excited about this because so many times I go off to Vegas with a bunch of the geek guys, and it's okay, but the wives are not with us, and this time she's going to be able to come along with me at least for a couple of days. Just worked out, everything's already paid for, so really nothing more than pack your suitcase, honey, and let's go. So really excited about that. Hey, another thing too here, you guys that watched the last Saturday Morning Tech knew that we had a meltdown of the TriCaster near the end of the show, and I had my own meltdown as well, and I had a conversation, I guess we should say, an online conversation with the new tech folks, and they were very gracious. They've come in, they've looked at the box from a remote standpoint, and they are going to be shipping me on Wednesday of next week, just before I get home, a replacement box, and we're going to RMA and send this one in. This remote, just this spontaneous rebooting is just too bizarre. So they're going to get me a new box, and we're going to see where that takes us. I'm looking forward to basically making the change and not having this spontaneous issue that has cost me a couple of shows in the past. And really, there was a fantastic one, and for some reason, even the backup recordings got thrashed. Something happened with the SDI signal. So long story short, I even got a third recording system going tonight, and basically we'll be doing this for the next several months as even a third way to make sure that I never lose a doggone show again. The Vegas meetup Sunday night, based on the change, unless someone emails me that is like some rock star, I don't think we're going to have one. I'll kind of play it by ear, but the Vegas meetup on Sunday night is probably going to be canceled just because I'll be able to spend time with my lovely wife. I don't think she wants to come hang out with a bunch of the fans, even though she might. But if you really were looking forward to doing something Sunday, send me an email. We'll let you know. To this point, I only had 2 that said maybe they could make it, so we'll see. What else is going on? I think that's about it, but I do want to thank GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here. And I tell you, we've got a new deal, obviously, for you this month. They've came in with 2 offers, and these are offers that are ones that were existing last month, but the 295.com is still available. So you're going to be able to get the 295.com promo code GEEK295 limit 1. And then, of course, I think that comes with a free hosting account as well for $9.95 or something like that. And then 35% off your total order, a new order, promo code GO35 off too. And it's actually going to look over here. So special.com, just $295 for domain. Additional .coms, 99 cents per year. There's some additional stuff on the details on this. I guess it doesn't come with a hosting account. I apologize for just $295 for the domain. So, you can always find all of my promo codes. And this is the important part. You can find all my promo codes at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. And everything's there for you to grab and migrate to and try. And right now, the Todd20 code is a 20% off code. That code is not working. So they're going to get that turned back on for me. So keep you advised on when that code becomes available again. Again, Todd20 on a one-year shared hosting account is off, but everything else on that list is working. If you ever run into a code that doesn't work, please let me know so that we can get that remedied. Thanks, GoDaddy, for being a sponsor here at Geek News Central, and we hope that you'll take some time, folks, to definitely check them out. All right, so let's talk just a little bit more here. I'm going to go through the lineup. Let's see if I can load the lineup that we're going to have for NAB. I'm really excited about this. Let's see here. Do I have Gmail loaded? I have to load the other account. And let me go into this real quick. I just want to go through this. We'll be breaking these out as individual episodes. Now, here's the beauty of this. We're only going to be on for a couple of hours. So there's no excuse for you guys not to watch. Okay? And it's a couple hours a day. So Monday, we're going to have Geffen on, Visit, Editware. We're going to have New Blue FX, Links Techniques. Those are all companies that are bringing out with great stuff for new media creators. On Tuesday, we're going to have Slow Mo, Digital Nirvana, Manfrotto, MXL microphones, Marshall Electronics. And then Wednesday, we'll have JVC, Lacey, Visual On, Xylite, Hybrid, CalDigit. And then we're going to have a half-hour segment with a guest who's going to come in and talk about the new media space and what he's doing. We're going to have Steve Lee on Wednesday afternoon with a great discussion about what's going on with what he's seen at the show as a podcaster. We've got some spaces reserved, too, for people that we see at the show that we want to get on that we haven't been able to make a connection with via email. But on Thursday, we're going to have Hitachi International Data Casting, M Dialogue, and Telebrahama is going to be on. These are all companies that create stuff, and we've tried to focus all of the vendors on stuff that's going to be for a new media creator. We tried to filter out anyone that had this like super high-end TV stuff because that's not the audience here. But it should be just exciting. It should be fun for us to have this great discussion with these guests. And in the beautiful live stream studio, we've seen it. I've seen the mock-up of it. I can't even discuss what it's going to look like, except it's going to be way cool. They swore me to secrecy on the design, so I can't show pictures of it or anything as part of our agreement with them. But look forward to having them basically do all the heavy lifting for us, and that's going to be the beauty of what's going to happen in NAB. But and remember, no shows next week, okay? So I'm just completely call it my vacation. Okay, I took a week's vacation during CES, and I'm taking a week's vacation worth of NAB. I think you guys will all understand that from time to time, we're 848 shows into this series, and I very rarely take time off. I'm with you as much as I can. I go to great extremes to hump a gear all over the country to make sure we bring shows to you. While they may not be always perfect, I try to really do a good job so that you guys always have the latest news, information, and really stay abreast of what's going on. But, radio hosts are told they have to take time off due to burnout concerns. So for me, I'm not going to take a lot of weeks off in a year because it makes, not good content to be off a week here, a week there, a week there, a week here. But I think basically when I go on these jaunts like to NAB and to CES, those types of things, I think I'm going to just have policy, unless we find some real good host to step in to basically be here or not to just do a show. And that way I will get a little downtime, and it does the show good. You want a fresh geek, believe me. But let's talk about another cool product, and we'll get into the content here in just a second. But the folks over at Citrix GoToMeeting, I've been using GoToMeeting for years, and GoToMeetings is really an essential way that I work. And when it comes to sitting in a room together, the creative juices can really get flowing. You can share ideas, problem solve, develop all kinds of cool stuff. And, when our team goes on our winter retreats, we get a lot accomplished in a weekend together. But my team is spread out across a variety of areas. We got New York, we've got Michigan, we've got Indiana, Colorado. So, the team is spread out across the nation, and coming together can be an impossible task. That's, of course, unless you use GoToMeeting with HD Faces, the powerful and simple way to meet online and collaborate. So, when we do have to have a meeting with someone, all the guys basically send a GoToMeeting invite out to a client or whatever. As a matter of fact, oftentimes I will see a meeting invite come in. I'm like, oh, what's that? And Angela's having a meeting with a customer that we're doing some consulting with. Maybe Mike will be doing something as well. So it's, I see those usage, and I think I counted on like 1 week, 10 to 12 GoToMeeting sessions where the guys didn't have to leave the office. They had this great, two-way conversation with the folks that they were meeting with. So no matter where anyone's located, GoToMeeting allows you to share the same screen really making it easier to be on the same page. And with the built-in HD video conferencing, you can see each other face to face. And really, the best part is, and what my secret weapon is that it's so easy to launch or join a meeting from anywhere using your computer, phone, or tablet. And now you can present with your iPad. And I have had a lot of meetings recently, just worked out. I was in a parking lot somewhere. And matter of fact, we had a meeting with a group out of San Francisco. And I said, hey, I'm in my car. I'm sorry. I'm picking my kids up. And they're like, oh, it's no problem. And we went through the meeting, and it was kind of cool. They could still see me. And it worked out slick. So try GoToMeeting free for 30 days. And it's real simple. All you got to do is visit GoToMeeting.com, click on the Try It Free button, and use the promo code podcast. Remember to use the promo code podcast. GoToMeeting. Meeting is believing. Of course, if you click on the banner, it'll take you to this page as well. Automatically registers that you've done the trial. But we want you to give it a run for the money. Get that 30-day free trial. Help us out here. And definitely check out GoToMeeting. We thank GoToMeeting for being a sponsor here. GoToMeeting by Citrix. All right. So let's go ahead and get into the content. Got a lot of stuff to go through tonight. I mean, the stack is big. I was, kind of, as late getting back to the house. We had pick up my son from his after-school program, and just the traffic was horrendous. And but when I got back to start doing the show prep, I was like, man, there's a lot of stuff in the news today. And I've got a couple of things that you guys are going to enjoy here, because I'm going to get up on my Geek News Central soapbox, and I'm going to share with you a couple of items that is going to set your hair back a little bit. So let me be just blunt. In World War II, or prior to World War II in Germany, and in some countries even today, the Nazis had people that were going around and spying on their citizens. And, of course, they started then rounding up Jewish people and essentially exterminating them. But it all started from these groups, or started, Hitler was worried about anti-government groups. And, one thing here in the United States, we have the ability to express what we feel. It's not necessarily without consequence, but we also have the right to demonstrate. We have the right to protest. We have the right to complain about our way of life, if you so feel that way. I don't agree, obviously, with a lot of things people say, but I agree with the ability for their right to be able to do that. This show is an expression of me, and being able to talk about tech and news and stuff going on in the space, and privacy and security and that kind of stuff. And believe me, you're not going to find any stronger American than me when it comes to supporting our country and supporting our military, having been prior active duty and having retired after 24 years from the Navy. I feel very strongly about a number of topics. But one thing that makes me a little bit nervous, and actually quite frankly pisses me off, is that there's new evidence that Homeland Security spied, and I'm using this directly off the Tech Dirt website, spied on peaceful protesters, that we're worried about protesters getting news coverage. They found a post on the head of one of Homeland Security's fusion centers, the same fusion center found by a congressional investigation to be a near total waste of time and money, but violating the public's civil liberties, who claim that the Department of Homeland Security centers did not spy on Americans, and then immediately admitted that they spied on anti-government Americans. So what do we define anti-government? Is it, can you be defined as being in a protesting the anti-government when you complain about a congressional person or stuff going on in Congress or something going on in the White House? Can you be labeled anti-government for expressing your thoughts about what's happening in the country? The definition of anti-government was mostly left as an exercise to the reader. However, and about of good timing, the Partnership for Civil Justice has released some new Department of Homeland Security documents that received via Freedom of Information Act, showing that DHS regularly spied on peaceful demonstrators and activists. Because exercising your First Amendment rights must make you one of those anti-government Americans, which means Department of Homeland Security is free to spy on you. I don't know what you guys think about this, but I'm going to be frank. If they are really spying and observing and cataloging and registering people that are at peaceful demonstrations and making binders, what are we coming to? This is not just in the big cities. The documents show that Department of Homeland Security is involved in spying on peaceful protesters and activists around the country. It also shows that Department of Homeland Security helped local law enforcement crack down on the various Occupy gatherings. But the key thing is that Department of Homeland Security seems to have no qualms about spying on anyone who disagrees with the prevailing positions of today's federal government. And it's clearly not because they're trying to protect others from any threat of actual harm. They seem to be focused on spying to further the goal of preventing the administration from looking bad. Now, this is coming from documents that were released, and this is from commentary, again, on techdirt.com, and I'm reading directly from their website. Here's something that they highlight. The documents show a Department of Homeland Security that appears obsessed with the question of whether any and all protests that are being surveilled received media attention and coverage. Reporting within Department of Homeland Security media coverage of First Amendment protected activities, even in the smallest places, appear to be a routine of DHS intelligence reports. None of the documents explain why media coverage of peaceful demonstrations is of interest to law enforcement, a concern to Homeland Security in any way. So what did the Nazis do? They found people that were being anti-government. They rounded them up and they exterminated them. Am I saying that's going to happen in this country? No. But are they going to start rounding people up and sticking them in jail for protesting? And even as much, don't get me wrong, I may not have agreed with the Occupy movement or any of that stuff, but I absolutely respected their right to stand up and say what they felt like peacefully. Now, if you start getting out of line and you start, throwing fire bombs and that kind of stuff, your butt's going to go to jail. That's the way it works. We're allowed to peacefully protest in this country, and scream at the top of our lungs, stand up on a city square and preach if we want to. Whatever we might want to do, we can do. But to think that Department of Homeland Security is tracking people, potentially cataloging them, it disturbs the living heck out of me in a big, big way. So I'm going to have this link up in the show notes. And again, I spent 24 years in the Navy fighting for the right of people to have the ability to, number one, enjoy the freedoms that this country offers and bear and carry arms, to have freedom of speech, have freedom of press, freedom from religious prosecution, everything, the fundamentals of this country that are built upon and why people came here and what we fought for to free ourselves from the tyranny of Britain in the Revolutionary War, to be known now that we're being spied upon by our government. Something has got to change. And I just, I hope that you will pick up the phone and call your senator and your House of Representatives and complain and ask why Homeland Security is spying on peaceful protesters. Now, I'm sure that they have individuals that may be underneath their quote unquote watch list that are doing activities that may not be considered peaceful, that might be illegal. So again, I don't condone any of that activity, but at the same time, doesn't it just make you guys a little nervous that you could be on a list if you go and protest on something? It makes me go, a little bit. So it's part of their threat management division. I wonder, if this goes, I'm sure, and I'm not going to get into the politics of this, but you've heard about all those bullets Department of Homeland Security is buying, right? Why do they need all those bullets? Combined with this monitoring of people, it's got to make us, you got to go, it's 1 + 1 = 2, folks. I'm holding up 5. 1 + 1 = 2. It's not too hard to connect the dots. It's got to make it go, wow. Now, in another topic, and this is again over at Tech Dirt, the Department of Justice trying to hide interpretations of the law. The EFF has basically went out and got some information. And the EFF figured that the public should know the details of what the surveillance court, how they're interpreting parts of the FISA amendment. And so here's something that should set your hair back too. If the government can have secret interpretations of law that has been set by the Supreme Court and been passed by our elected officials, where law is more than just legislation itself, but the collection of case law and interpretation combined with legislation that makes up the overall law, with some of those interpretations being kept secret, how can the public then obey the law? The answer is we can. If they're interpreting things one way and you do it another, you now are in violation of the law underneath this secret order. So the Justice Department prefers to keep some things secrets and is asking the court to dismiss a lawsuit filed by the EFF seeking to find out how the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court is interpreting parts of the FISA Amendment Act. The EFF figured the public should know the details. The Department of Justice, on the other hand, would rather the public stay in the dark. The Department of Justice actually suggests that merely revealing the fact that they got slapped down by the FISC provides enough balance. Now, last summer, in an effort to strike a balance between government transparency and the protection of critical intelligence activities, the government declassified 4 statements concerning its activities pursuant to Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, Amendment Act of 2008. So the EFF was not satisfied with that, with the 4 things that they released, but the court concluded that some portions, in some cases, the Fourth Amendment was being violated. And that makes you go, too. So the government has determined the disclosure of the information withheld from the plaintiff could result in exceptionally grave and serious damage to national security. And I can understand that. But it makes you kind of weird if they're violating the Fourth Amendment against Americans. You may think yourself, what is that all about? So a lot of stuff going on. And I understand there has to be a balance. You do, to be able to keep the country safe. And at the same time, but it makes you just wonder, is anyone beyond suspicion? I don't think so in this day and age. I think everyone is subject to, I guess for a better word, classification. But it makes you go, a little bit, doesn't it? All right, Google will fight secretive national security letters in court. The FBI has sent out thousands of national security letters in years following 9/11 under expanded authority given to the Bureau under the Patriot Act. The letters nearly always come with a gag order preventing the recipient from even revealing the existence of the letter. Of course, we know a few weeks ago, the FBI practice suffered its first major setback, where a San Francisco federal judge ruled that sending letters with a gag order is unconstitutional because a gag order takes away recipients' free speech rights. And again, the EFF was representing an unnamed telecom company. Now Google has stepped forward to become the second company to challenge the letters. The company case is in front of the same judge who ruled the letters unconstitutional. U.S. District Judge Susan Liston ordered the FBI to stop sending letters on March 14th, but she stayed the order for 90 days so the agency could appeal. So Google's going to get in the act. They're going to say, we want these revealed too. So a lot of stuff going on the privacy standpoint. That first article talking about this Homeland Security stuff just scares the bejesus out of me, and it does. I'd love to hear your feedback. What do you guys think? Am I being overly cautious? Do I have a right to be concerned? Are you concerned? I'd really love to hear from you. I really would. geeknews@gmail.com, voicemail hotline 619-342-7365. All right, let's go out of the privacy in it's conspiracy stuff, and let's get into the tech. Zynga. Zynga no longer requires Facebook. This would be good news for many of you that love to play Zynga games but don't like to have to log into Facebook to do it. So one of our fantastic writers here at Geek News Central came up with that article. Jen came up with that and posted it on the website, so you definitely want to check it out. So if you want to play Farmville, Chefville, Hidden Chronicles, or several of the other Zynga games, but you don't have to, you can just use a regular email address to get in. This update was announced in March, but it's now taking effect. So this is good. That's awesome. If you're playing by Facebook, you can swap over. You don't have to worry about making the switch. At the same time, this is kind of an interesting thing. The FTC had a competition. They had a competition to come up with technology for that people could buy that would block robocalls. You know, no one likes them. I get them on my cell phone now. So the FTC last year launched the robocall challenge. The winners have now been announced. The one that won was No Mo Robo, and they won the best overall solution. So there's going to be some gear that's going to be available soon that you're going to be able to use to block those robocalls. And that's going to be fantastic news for companies out there. Now, Alan, he put an article up on the 3rd talking about how do you recharge your phone battery when on the move. Well, let me tell you guys something. Playing Ingress, it kills your battery. I mean, you're running the screen in the graphics mode, and it's always updating. And so I'm always walking around now with a battery pack and something plugged into my Android phone that I'm using to play Ingress with. And anyone out there need an Ingress invite? If you're in Hawaii, I might be able to get you a Resistance invite. Only if you agree to play on the Resistance. And only if you're in Hawaii. We need all the help we can get here. But if you're looking to how to recharge your phone battery when on the move, Alan's got a good write-up. The one I'm using, let's see what if I got it actually charging under the desk here right now. All my stuff is like plugged in for charging, getting ready to go to Vegas. But he's got a great battery review, so definitely check it out. There's plenty of these on the market, and definitely, look around. I have, when we were at CES, I had bought 4 so that all the teams that were on the floor and the guys in the booth would have devices, and we wrote some reviews on Amazon on them, and we had some great luck. So anyway, link will be up in the show notes on the article that Alan did on the website. And from time to time, come over to the website and thank the writers for their hard work. It's I pay the writers per post at Geek News Central. I wish I could have folks that were more full-time, but the budget doesn't allow it at this point. But, they do a great job, and they get, comments on the blog posts. But take time to visit and say hello and thank them for all the great content that you're getting in your reader feed or when you come over and visit the website. It's all about passing the love back to the entire team, and I hope you guys will take the time to do that. It's greatly appreciated when you do. And also, giving them feedback is always a great way to stimulate better article write-ups and conversation within them. Don't be just a casual visitor. Get engaged with the Geek News Central team, and we want you to be an integral part of this family here. And if you ever have a article that you think is a good one, I'm going to give you an email address. And this is because I didn't want to give this at the beginning of the show, but we've got an email address that basically when it comes in, it goes to all the writers. And so don't spam me with crap, okay? But if you find a cool article that you want us to cover on Geek News Central, if we have a team that has time to do it, send an email to mediablast at geeknewscentral.com, Media Blast at geeknewscentral.com, and we'll be able to put one of the writers on it. I'll get it. Everyone will get it on the team. Don't go posting that thing all around the net, okay? Or we'll have to change it. But Media Blast at geeknewscentral.com. All right, when I flew the Delta flight, one thing I noticed was they had Wi-Fi, and the lengths that I was flying was too short. I really didn't need to be on the internet. So one thing United doesn't have largely is Wi-Fi on the aircraft, and but there's a great article over on readwrite.com, talking about who's got the best Wi-Fi above 10,000 feet. And so, if you want to stay connected, you can do so. But as of September 2012, only 31% of U.S. domestic flights came equipped with in-flight Wi-Fi. So right now, Air Canada has 319. All of their 319s have GoGo service. AirTrans, all planes have GoGo. American Airlines have it available on their 767s and 737s, MD-80s and 757s. Alaska, Delta has it almost on their entire fleet. So it just goes, on and on down the list. And then you get down to United, it says, GoGo currently on transcontinental PS flights only, and has started rolling out service to its international flights with just 2 747s equipped with satellite Wi-Fi. So they're way, way, way behind. Virgin, US Air, Southwest, they've pretty much got most of their fleet with Wi-Fi on it. So if you're stuck on United like me, you are you're not going to get too much Wi-Fi. But if you're on one of those other carriers, you're pretty good. And I'd love to hear from you guys when you're flying. Tweet me, email me, give me the flight conditions and everything else. We'll talk about it on the show here. All right, now this is one's going to crack you up. Oh, Prenda. There wasn't a lot to write about Prenda, and here's why. Prenda showed up at court. All the principals showed up, and they promptly all pleaded the fifth. So they chose not to incriminate themselves by testifying in front of the judge. The hearing lasted a whopping 12 minutes, and the judge said, "I'm done with you guys. I'm done." So the ruling is forthcoming. And bars and associations and all that stuff will start getting letters about these guys' conduct. I don't think it's going to bode well for the Prenda team. I can't wait to see this judge's write-up and what he does to them. Their days are done. As some folks said, this was a death event or something like, one of those, it's a total destruction event for the Prenda team. So we'll see where it goes, but it's not going to be good once the ruling comes out. Now, on the other hand, the movie studios want Google to take down their own takedown requests. This is comical. This is made of censorship at its best. So several copyright holders, include 20th Century Fox and NBC Universal, have sent Google takedown requests asking the search engine to take down links to takedown requests they themselves sent. Google refused to comply with the movie studio request, and the infringing DMCA notices remain online. And meanwhile, the number of takedown notices received by Google is nearing 20 million per month. This is crazy. 20 million a month. With more than 100 million links to pirated files, Google is steadily building the largest database of copyrighted material. And so they're sending 20 million takedown notices a month to try to rid the net of this stuff. It's crazy. Can you imagine being in that compliance department? You would lose your mind. All right, let's get on a topic I haven't talked about in a while. And I'm finishing a Red Bull here for those of you that are watching the video. Time Warner. So I'm starting with a 2-letter word there that you guys are going to laugh. But Time Warner is paying empty lip service to 1 gigabit per second service in North Carolina. Now, if you remember, Time Warner wasn't really a hero when it comes to furthering national broadband development. The company's been behind nasty, very nasty bills, in my opinion, in North and South Carolina, banning and hindering towns and cities from deploying their own broadband. Now, let me talk just a second about the experience my mom has had. She lives in the country. She used to live in a dirt road. They paved it in recent years. But she's still literally 13 miles from a major city. Not even a major, a small city, 12 to 15,000 people. So it's a town, maybe is what you want to classify that as. I can give you an example. My graduating class was 97 people, so it was a very, very small school. So when she got her first wireless connection, it was about 3G speeds. Now, little by little, the speed has been increasing. The folks on the local carrier there has been buying local television spectrum, and they're bringing higher speed to them. They're saying it could be 6 to 12 megabits per second soon, which is pretty good considering she's not wired to anything. So in the town that it was closest to us, they rolled out their own broadband, and it was fantastic and still is. It's fantastic service, great price, great speed. If I ever moved back to Michigan, I would have an office where I just put servers and wired up to their connection. It's that good. It could support data center speeds. And but Time Warner in North and South Carolina, they banned or hindered those towns and cities from deploying their own broadband. And they've been among the slowest cable operator to offer DOCSIS 3.0. And they only did it here when there was finally competitive pressure in Hawaii. So Time Warner's press release that they just released in North Carolina is just completely two-faced. With more than 6,000 employees and 1.6 million customers in North Carolina, Time Warner Cable has a vested interest in the region's continued success and development, said Rod Marcus, Time Warner Cable President and Chief Operating Officer. We have a long history of providing innovative technology to the state and believe our highly reliable advanced network can exceed the future requirements of, and what they have this new thing going on, this NCNGN, to deliver speeds of 1 gigabit per second. Now, the North Carolina Next Generation Network, NCNGN, and that's a mouthful. So, that they haven't rolled anything out. Nothing. They've had this huge lobbying effort to pass bills so that there would be no competition. They've sued the heck out of any town that decided to build a network offering anything other than slow, pricey speeds. So if anyone can believe the crap that Time Warner is putting forth, who can believe these folks anymore? And, it's just incredible, the spin that Time Warner puts on everything. It is. It really is. And here we're kind of, we finally have some competition, but they still have a monopoly on things even in Hawaii. Now, cable companies are also angry about a higher FCC broadband definition. The FCC has around 185 million out of 300 million of broadband funds available from phase one of remember the Connect America Fund, where it was dedicated to shoring up broadband coverage gaps. So Frontier, worst telephone company. In my opinion, Frontier, the worst telephone company in the world. Frontier took $71.9 million to wire some 92,000 homes. Other companies like Windstream balked at taking funding, saying that getting $775 per install wasn't enough. So, in hope to get more takers to get this money spent, this $185 million that's in this pool, the FCC wants to change the threshold for what constitutes an unserved region. So the American Cable Association, which primarily represents small cable operators, is mad about this change because it would mean that more of their struggling telco competitors would get a subsidy. So with AT&T, Verizon walking away from DSL, and most other small telcos either too cash-strapped or unmotivated or incompetent to upgrade their networks, cable operators have fairly swept the deck with this. So, but with this 185 million, the FCC saying 6 megs is now the baseline for broadband, which would allow them to feed money into those telcos in rural areas. So, we'll see. We're still lagging behind the rest of the developed world on broadband speeds in the United States. But, for the rural areas that are not connected, I'm blessed here in Hawaii. I've got 50 down, 3 up now. I'm no complaints. We're pushing 2 streams on it tonight. I've got a secondary connection going with the other stream. Cannot complain, right? So, but I can imagine being on like a 3 meg service now or lower. So the rural areas in this country deserve to get connected, and I hope they do. All right, on a more, oh my goodness, department, and I got to show you guys this. You got all these 3D printers, right? Well, come on now, load, article load. Oh, Gizmo is showing off a Photon 3D scanner. Photon 3D scanner. Now, it's not a Photon 3D scanner. Photon, the company, has a 3D scanner unleashing the power of 3D printing. This thing is cool. So the Photon was invented by Adam Brandis and Drew Cox. Been working on a prototype for the past year, presumably satisfied with the results they got. They're now releasing this on Indiegogo. All early backer discounts have been snatched up, but you can still make a pledge of $399 Canadian. That's about $295 US to get your very own Photon by August of 2013. So if you've got a 3D scanner, a 3D printer, you can score yourself a 3D scanner. I think they're onto something there. It's going to be really, really cool. Now, how many, you're driving your cars, how many drop your cell phones in between the seats? Does it just drive you absolutely crazy, that little gap, that's between the side of your leg and your console or however your car is laid out? Well, there's a new device, and of course, what goes in mine is fries. And this, how many go through the drive-through? You get your soda or whatever you're going to order, and you put that in one cup holder, and then you take your fries out and you stick it in the other cup holder. And then what I do is if I have chicken McNuggets, I balance the chicken McNugget box in the front. So I kind of got this pretty gross table area in and around my driving console. So burger in one hand, right? Chicken McNugget in the other. You can dip it in the sauce. And then I got the french fries in the cup holder with the other cup holder holding the drink. So that's perfect, right? But invariably, what happens to the french fry goes down in between the seat. There is a solution. And this is a brilliant idea. It's called Drop Stop. It plugs that black hole on either side of your car seat, and for $20, you're going to get a set. And it's simple. It's foam. It's got a little pocket in it, and you stuff it in between, down between, even where your seatbelt goes, and you're good to go. And you are able to essentially have the ability to, if the french fries drop, you just kind of reach down there and grab them, and you get a 5-second roll as an effect, and you're good, right? So, perfectly simple, perfect good product, and put that on my immediate order list. All right, we talked about 3D scanners, and you guys know that we've all been excited about the future of printed organs. Well, this is new. Scientists have built a 3D printer that creates material resembling human tissue. The novel substance, a deceptive simple network of water droplets coated in lipids, could one day be used to deliver drugs to the body or perhaps even replace damaged tissue in living organs. So I'm telling you, 10 years, they're going to be printing us kidneys. They're going to be printing us new it's the sky's the limit. It's coming. It's going to. They've been able to do all this other stuff. They're going to figure this out. And it's exciting time. It really is. They just got to figure out how we're going to be able to jack in and download our stuff. That's what I'm waiting for before I hit the senility rate or becoming senile. Senility. Is that even a word? Add that to the Tautism list. All right, Verizon has a 4G LTE router now available for $99. I don't know who would have one of these for their house, but if you want one, you can get one. If you're on one of those share all plans, they've got this available to use at home. We've known for a while now that college students or even high school students now, when they submit a paper, many times that paper is getting scanned to make sure it's not plagiarizing or misusing copyrighted works and so forth. Well, there's a new company called EDX, and this is an article on the New York Times. EDX is a nonprofit enterprise founded by Harvard and MIT to offer courses on the internet. They just introduced a system that will make use of an automated software available free on the web for any institution to use. The software uses artificial intelligence to grade student essays and short-written stories, freeing professors for other tasks. If I'm going to send my son to MIT, Harvard, or any other, son or daughter, to any other uppity lip university, the professor better doggone grade the paper. They get paid great money. They have tenure, great benefits. And to tell me that the professors are not going to grade the papers and turn them over to software? If they're going to do that, okay, if MIT is going to do that, and if Harvard is going to do that, and they're going to grade people's papers with a computer, why do we need those institutions? If we're going to do it that way, let's put all this stuff online, let the kids learn, let them submit their papers, let them challenge the course, and let the computer just give them a grade. And then when they get done, they can print their degree, right? At home, issued, certified, you're good. The new service will bring the education consortium into a growing conflict over the role of automation in education. I just can't believe this. This is shocking. And I agree. A automated system is no match for a professor reading and reviewing and checking inflection and knowing the student a little bit. Whatever, there's a lot of things that go into how grades are laid out. EDX expects the software to be adopted widely by schools and universities. It's nuts. Absolutely insane. I remember Scribd. Scribd has revealed it was hacked this week, informs less than 1% of its users that their passwords are compromised. So just on a safety measure, if you have a account over at Scribd, just go over there and reset that password. It's probably good to do that on accounts that you have base passwords in from time to time as well. Hey, the folks from Virgin Galactic posted a pretty cool picture online. And it's a picture of let's see if I can get a bigger one here. It's not going to be any bigger than that. But, Spaceship Two made its first flight in months. And they got this previous flight on Wednesday was a 9-minute glide, which was a 24th made Virgin Galactic since 2010. And the second time was flown with this airframe and rocket engine configured as it will be for upcoming powered flights. So the moon is in the background. This is just an incredible shot. So it's going to be on a lot of wallpapers if they make that available as a blown-up image. All right, BitTorrent site IsoHunt demands a jury trial. The operator of the popular file-sharing service IsoHunt is demanding a federal appeals court granted a jury trial 2 weeks after the court declared it a massive copyright and said it's on the hook for what could be millions of dollars in damages payable to Hollywood studios. A 3-judge panel on the U.S. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled against Gary Fung and said that the Motion Picture Association of America automatically won on the merits of the case without a trial. The decision marked the first time a federal appeals court has ruled against a BitTorrent search engine. Fung submits it's a serious miscarriage of justice in a landmark case. He has been wrongfully denied trial by jury and found liable by judges on disputed facts through application of erroneous legal standards. So we'll see what happens if he gets his day in court. I think they're just going to leave these guys hung out to dry. The Drug Enforcement Administration is not happy, and they admitted, I'm surprised that they did. They admitted that they can't intercept iMessage chats. So Apple mentioned in 2011 that iMessage used encryption to safeguard conversations, and but the DEA, according to a intelligence note gleaned by CNET, warns its staff that it's impossible to tap messages through the usual methods. Great for privacy, but a worry for law enforcers. So this is an interesting situation here with this messaging system locked down. So we'll see if they force Apple to make a backdoor. As you guys know, I've been selected to get Google Glasses, waiting for the information to come to order them and make my trip up to San Francisco to get them. I'm kind of anxious for the details to come through. But Google Glass developed presentation from South by Southwest is finally available to stream in full, so definitely check that out. It's a great presentation. I spent some time watching it. Link will be up in the show notes. You'll definitely want to take an overview. Today, Facebook Home was announced, and it's going to hit select phones on April 12th, the United States. It's going to be arriving on April 12th. It won't be available on all Android devices that day. Broader availability should be coming in the future. On day one, it will show up as a download for select devices, which will include the rumored HTC First that we anticipate will make its grand debut shortly. There will be no Facebook phone or even a Facebook OS. Home is an app that will transform your Android phone into a great social phone. Home for tablets is coming too, but it won't arrive until later this year. The Facebook Android event live blog from Engadget is going to be available in the show notes if you want to go through and read all the details and see the pretty pictures. I'll have that link up in the show notes for you. Hey, visualize an Earth year through stunning NASA imagery. There is an incredible 2-minute and 18-second video provided by NASA, Earth from Orbit 2012. It's a must-watch. I'll have it starred in the show notes. You will not want to miss it. Now, a lot of stuff this week is going to be kind of on the high-end geek zone. In other words, it's going to hurt your wallet big time. But Sonnet Echo 15 is a Thunderbolt dock, piles on 15 ports, optical drive, disc bay for $400. This beast is pretty impressive. It's got an extra Thunderbolt. It's got a Gig E, Firewire 800 ports. You're thinking they'll let you hook up a Blu-ray disc and so forth. SATA 3, this is huge. 2 terabytes for $549 or $399 with a built-in DVD. So link will be up in the show notes on that. Those of you that want a Thunderbolt dock, you can get one. He's saying, I'm going to try to score one of these big time. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get one or not. I don't want to pay for one. But Samsung's Wi-Fi only Galaxy camera is shipping this month for $450. The appeal is undeniable, but for the convenience of a constant cellular connection, and a great camera, I don't know. I'm really going to have to think about it. But if I can get that to run on Virgin Mobile, might be worth the move. We'll see. But anyway, if you've been waiting for this, I think this is just one of the most sexy devices to hit the street in a long time. I think the S4 is cool, but I think this Galaxy camera is best. Hey, Canon has announced the Vixia HFG30 camcorder with premium optics. The XA20 and XA25 for pros has been updated as well. So I know I'm going to be going to CES with a G20. While the image of amateur camcorders users still revolve around a parent company recordings. So Canon knows that at least some of us want high quality footage without venturing too far into pro camera territory. The Vixia HFG30 is going to be fantastic. $1,700. It's not quite pro level, but if we move down the list here and look at the XA20 or the XA25, the real asking price for these will hit around $24.99 and $29.99. But here's a little secret here. The XA25 is going to have an SDI connector. And for those of you that are out there creating content, this is the first time I have seen a camera with an SDI hookup that's really below $2,700. This is huge. Huge, 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 huge. And they could be even less. So, this is a big, 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 big deal. For those of you that are thinking about making the move into a little bigger pro, $3,000 and under to get SDI. The camera that I'm shooting right here is, $67, almost $7,000 with an SDI. And it's just a couple of years old. It's XD cam from Sony. In matter of fact, the lighting is not quite right now. I don't have everything dialed in perfectly, but this Vixie, and if I put one of these G30s or XA20 or XA25 right on that same pedestal, it would you probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference at all. All right, on our International Space Station, they've got this experiment called AMS. AMS detects excess of positrons, and NASA has announced that they're seeing something weird going on, and that the department observed with the alpha magnetic spectrometer that there is an excess of positrons, and they're trying to figure out what that means. So those of you that are more up on this science stuff than me, you'll definitely want to check that out. Boy, I'm going to go long here. Hey, North Korea, boy, if they keep talking smack, they're going to have to get right. Boy, these guys, where are they going to stop? But don't worry, unless you live in Alaska. Their experimental Taetong 2 has a range of 6,700 miles. The Taepong-dong has a range of 2,500, kilometers. But Japan and a variety of companies around North Korea are definitely within the crosshairs. But these, at some point, this thing's going to come to an ugly head. All right, let's take a second here and let's thank our final sponsor for the show. Let's thank the folks over at DYN. That's Dyn.com. We're going to save you 30% on your order over there. Everyone wants faster internet. If you have a website, when you load it, you want that sucker you want to load quick. And you want to make sure that if your DNS provider goes down, you've got a secondary route to your website. And that's where Dyn.com, Dyn.com comes in. With outsourced DNS, you can make sure people can get to your website at all times. And that's really important. That's making sure that you're up online and never down. With managed DNS, you can even connect items like your webcam or DVR to a private channel that you can basically get access to at any time. For businesses, email delivery is critical. If your business relies on contact lists of yours, then Dyn's email solutions can get your message to clients and customers. You can send secure email, bulk email, and set up high-volume mailboxes right on Dyn's delivery service. So most important here, we're in the middle of the switch to IPv6, and Dyn is really ahead of the game as complete support for IPv6. It's simple. Get faster internet by using Dyn for DNS. Simply visit Dyn.com/podcast30 and fill out the contact form. Start shopping right away and save 30% by using the promo code podcast30. I do want to mention this is the last ad spot for Dyn.com on this campaign. They've been with us here for 3 months. I really want to thank them because they are going to be responsible in helping and keeping the lights on. And we got to put that as a saying here, KTLO, keeping the lights on, KTLO. So we want to thank them for being a sponsor here. We hope that you've been able to save some money on their services. Really, this is their first time of advertising in the podcasting space. They're trying to find out the impact. So we don't know the results of the campaign yet, but you can help us out. If you've been on the fence, now's the time to go in and pick up a product over there and save 30%. You help this show and a bunch of other shows that's on this campaign as well. But irregardless of how the campaign turns out, we want to thank Dyn.com. And we want your feedback. What have you learned about Dyn? Do you think this is a product that's good for you? Where did it miss the mark and so forth? If it didn't appeal to you, let us know. Send me an email, geeknews@gmail.com. And we want to thank Dyn again for being a sponsor here for the past 3 months. And it's my pleasure to have had them on board, and we look forward to having them back in the future as we analyze this last campaign or this last week of the campaign with them. So anyway, that's it. Let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. You have bad breath. Everyone has bad breath in the morning. Well, did you know your bad breath has a fingerprint? Oh, it also has telltale signs that what could be wrong with you. They're coming up with breath analyzers for morning breath. And we could see these on the market soon, where you blow into this thing every morning. It tells you, dude, you are not healthy, or you're healthy, or this is a trend, or whatever. So scientists are trying to put some links to our health with our morning bad breath. My morning bad breath, it's ugly. So, switching gears here. Does Dish want to buy Ariel? Broadcasters would love to know. They're talking to them. Potentially, that could be the case. Second Life, remember them? I think I still have an account on Second Life. I haven't been on there in a year. I probably should cancel that instead of spending like $75 a year or something like that. That'd be a good way to get rid of an expense. I think I'll do that. So Second Life founders raised $2.4 million for new stealthy startup called High Fidelity. So $2.4 million is the case, and we'll see what they're going to be doing, what they're going to be producing, but could be the next big thing. Sony's launching a media cloud service, and they're going to working with folks that create content to streamline global production with cloud services. And so this cloud, everything's cloud. And if you don't have a cloud, why don't you have a cloud? So I'm sure we're going to see a lot of cloud news coming over the next week. Hey, alleged botnet mastermind and his coders busted by Russian and Ukrainian security. So another botnet goes down. So this just seems to be another day in the news on that case. Over on the BBC, Twitter helped a Belfast woman find her missing mother within 9 hours. The lady was suffering from Alzheimer's, and she tweeted out that she's looking for her mom, and they found her. Just basically, the tweets went viral, and they were able to essentially Amber Alert on this lady and was able to get her back. Of course, that's not the definition of what an Amber Alert's for, but they were able to find her. So Twitter was used for valuable, I guess, life-saving ability. So, Bitcoin hack attacks hit Bitcoin exchange rates. Online servers and exchange dealing in Bitcoins have been hit by hack attacks that led to a drop in the value of the virtual currency. I guess they're going to have to get this thing beefed up because it took quite a hit. But they said that the Bitcoin was up to like $142. And Curry, if you're listening, you need to cash in your Bitcoins, dude. And if anyone wants to donate to the show with Bitcoins, hey, I'll take them. Hey, Anonymous hacked North Korea's social network accounts, and they went on some of their online sites too. So probably the first good thing that Anonymous has done in a while, but they took down some North Korea stuff. If finally gets its way, area codes could be up for grabs. So, there's some very exclusive area codes in this country, 212, 202, 619. There's a variety of area codes that people want because of proximity to Manhattan, LA, San Francisco. Bonnie just trying to get all that removed so that anyone anywhere in the country, no matter where they're at, could get a quote-unquote area code out of their area. And I'm sure that'll make some of those 212 folks very unhappy because that's a prestigious area code to have. All right, NASA's put Mars rover on a month-long hiatus. NASA has halted communications with Curiosity to avoid anti-interference during a period when the sun is blocking Earth to Mars transmissions. The rover is going to be calling home still, so once every 26 months, as the Earth and Mars rotate around the sun, the two planets end up on opposite sides of the star in an event called Mars solar conjunction. And because of the sun's massive size, any communication sent between the two can easily be disrupted. So not wanting to take any chances and send Curiosity or other Mars rovers scrambled directions, NASA shut down all communication with the rovers for a time period. And basically, they're going to be just calling home. And according to NASA, Curiosity may have up to 12 gigs of data accumulated by the time it can make contact with NASA again. So we'll see what happens here with this. But the rover's out there by itself doing its thing. Okay, Firefox is preparing additional do not track options. That'll be available in an upcoming release. So we'll keep you advised on that. And I think that's all I've got in the stack here. I got a couple of things about some earnings reports. That's boring. We'll leave that at that. I'm already long, so we need to wrap up here so I can finish packing and be ready to go. Anyway, let me go ahead and look at, did we get any emails? It's kind of been slow on email. So let's look at the I got an email from Richard. He says, FACT, that's fact, turns up at a torrent site owner's house demanding domain names. We talked about this in a previous show. Yeah, this group showed up at a UK house and basically said, hand over your stuff or we're going to probably shoot you. But anyway, basically they showed up at this guy's home, said, hand it over, and he did. That talk about intimidation, coming to your house and saying, we're going to either run you into court or you're going to have to give up what you've got. So Richard was the only one nice enough to send me an email. Thank you, Richard, for that. I appreciate it. Again, as always, the email hotline. Email is always available, geeknews@gmail.com. Twitter me at geeknews. And we look forward to basically doing the live shows at NAB. Little different type of content for sure, but it goes right along with what we're doing with the new media show. And I think that is, we're already seeing huge increases in numbers on that. So I think we're going to have a successful new podcast. And really the transition to that is well done now. But I look forward to being with you guys back in a week. Looks like I'm going to be my schedule's in flux. So I'll definitely be back here a week from Monday and back in the studio doing shows and probably with a new TriCaster in the case, which will probably lead to its own issues and making the swap out because there's so many cables going to it. But hey, we want to thank GoDaddy, Citrix Go-To Meeting, and the folks at DYN.com for KTL, for keeping the lights on here. Don't forget, you can become an insider and support the show, and a number of you do. I want to thank all of you that do support the show as an insider at our variety of support levels. You can find that link on the front page at geeknewscentral.com. And we'll do something special for the insiders here in coming weeks. We got to put together something cool for them. The last private video went over gangbusters, so we'll do another one. And but maybe we'll do something. Maybe I'll be able to talk my wife into doing something. We're in Vegas, but I gotta be careful about that. It's her and I time there. So we'll be back with you here and watch the Geek News Central website. I'll have a live blog up and available. You'll get some pictures, and of course the live stream will be up. You will watch it. The schedule is posted at geeknewscentral.com. We hope that you'll join us. Follow that link that's on the website. Click follow so that you get notices as when we're live, and that way you can be reminded to come in and watch the live content. Hey, it's been my pleasure bringing the show tonight. Again, my name is Todd Cochran. You can reach me here at geeknews@gmail.com. Our hotline, 619-342-7365. And, of course, on Twitter at Geek News. We'll see you next time, everyone. Thanks for being here. Take care. And aloha.